It was the summer of 2006. You know, here in the South, it's pretty hot. I don't like going outside too much, even at that time, except for going to swimming. And my mom didn't feel like driving me to the swimming pool all the time. And so she gets a bright idea and says, you know what will entertain him? Comic books. I know a friend whose husband just so happens to have some comic books from the 1980s. And I know my son loves Spider-Man. And so what does my mom do? She gets those comic books and gives them to me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I was introduced to the world of comic books. And to this day, I have now amassed a collection of over 600 comic books, and it is still growing. And really, I would say that summer was the time of my life, because what we're going to look at here in this video is a small stack of Spider-Man comic books from the 1980s. And I read, reread, and read them again. I loved them. And so in this video, you're going to be seeing the original issues that I read as a child at the age of 11 in 2006. And this stack is by far something that's maybe will always stay in my collection. And the reason for that is just the nostalgic factor. As you can tell, these issues are pretty beat up. They're pretty beat up. I mean, you could look at them. They've been well read. And for the longest time, I had not bagged and boarded these comic books. But as a child, I love these comic books, and I read and reread them, as you can tell. And Spider-Man became one of my favorite superheroes after reading these issues. I wanted to get to know more about him, and my first introduction to Spider-Man was with his black symbiote suit. So that was pretty cool. So I don't know which issue I read first, but these are the original issues that I first read as a kid, the very first comic books. And I know I read issue 257 a lot. And a lot of these, they might not appear to be in rough condition, but this one in particular, the staples are detached. So the cover is loose. And so, yeah, I have that going for this book. I remember reading this a lot. Now, one comic book that you're not going to see in this video is issue 259. I don't know what happened to that book. I don't know if my little sister or little brother got a hold of it and just tore it to shreds. I have no idea. It's gone. I'm still searching for it. I think I'm just going to have to buy an issue, you know, because I'm working on my Amazing Spider-Man run. But yes, I just love this era of Amazing Spider-Man, mainly because of the nostalgic factor. I was introduced to the symbiote suit and also introduced to Hobgoblin. I was introduced to the Hobgoblin before I got to know the Green Goblin. And this is in 2006. I did not grow up in the 80s. But this guy, he kept his books since the 80s when he bought them, and he graciously gave them to my mom as a gift so that an annoying child like me would have something to do during the summer. And this cover has always been one of my favorites because of just a fantastic cover here. And then we are going to go to the Marvel team-ups, and you can definitely tell I read this one to death. And this is the last issue of Marvel Team-Up with 150, where Spider-Man teams up with the X-Men. This is one of the first ones that I read. This is where he's also in his symbiote suit. Spider-Man teaming up with Star Fox. I remember reading this one a lot. So it's amazing that I've held on to these issues for these many years. These are the very first comic books that I ever read as a child. And I don't think I'm going to get rid of them anytime soon. And I don't know if I'll even replace them, to be honest. I just like, I like to read them anyway. They're reader copies, but I don't know. Maybe I'll upgrade them eventually. But these are my childhood comic books here. Spider-Man teaming up with Moon Knight, fighting the White Dragon. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to show off my original comic book collection. It comprised of these. How many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 comics. These 6 comics were the first comics I ever read, and well, 7. These 7 comics were the comic books that I first read as a child, and that's what kind of boosted me towards, expanding my interest, delving into the Fantastic Four, X-Men, getting to know the whole Marvel Universe, was through this event right here, where my mom graciously gave me comic books to read. It also gave me an initiative to begin to learn how to draw. It taught me how to be more creative in my drawing, and I remember just trying to mimic the covers here, try to, mimic the covers by drawing the covers. It also helped with my vocabulary. As an 11-year-old child, I remember reading, and I think by reading comic books, it expanded my vocabulary. I'm not lying here. So comic books, I have a lot to be grateful for. It not only helped me be introduced to such a great hobby, but it just taught me how to read. I mean, that's what I have to thank for this hobby. And so there you have it, folks. I just wanted to show off these original comic books here. These are my originals. I would love to see your original comic books. If you still have them in your collection, go ahead and show them off in a video. This is an open tag video for anybody who would like to do this kind of topic and delve into this topic. I would love to see the original comics that inspired you to jump into the hobby and helped grow your love for comic books. So there you have it, y'all. Hope you like this kind of video. It's just something that kind of popped up into my mind recently, and so I just wanted to show off these originals that have always been in my collection since I started. And I will see y'all in the next one.